Let me talk to you a little bit about Libya. The President addressed the American people last night, 10 days too late. You don't go to war, and this is war, without the approval of the United States Congress. You don't go to war without the approval of the American people. It should have gone to the American people before we got into Libya, or at least contemporaneous with it. He should have got a resolution out of Congress showing support for this. That's what the Constitution requires. He allegedly was a constitutional law professor. He should know that. He criticized President Bush on this very topic. He brought up the example of Iran. He said, unless that we were under imminent threat, if we were to go to war with Iran, we would have to get constitutional approval. What's the difference between Iran and Libya in this circumstance? There isn't one. What is our objective in Libya? Is it to depose Gaddafi? Or is it to just provide protection for the rebels? That's unclear. Is this within our national interest? Secretary Gates on the Sunday talk shows says no. Hillary Clinton says yes. President says yes, yes. It's a muddled message. He's not doing his job. He's supposed to be the chief commanding officer of this country, and he's not showing his leadership. I support the people of Libya who want to be free. Muammar Gaddafi is a murderous terrorist, and he has attacked the people of our country before. That Pan Am flight, we know he was responsible for bringing it down. He needs to be held accountable, but this is not the way you do it. So I hope that there is a good resolution to this, but when our objectives are not clear, when we don't have a plan to get out, when we can't define success, it's very difficult to do. What this really tells me about this president is he's not interested in doing the job of president. He might like the celebrity of it. He might like the glamour of it. But when it comes to handling the Gulf oil spill, which required an executive to be on top of the job and get the job done like Jeb Bush did when we had all our hurricanes here, or in this situation where we are going to war. By the way, the third war that we're in right now, he's not showing leadership. You know, he's got enough time to fill out his NCAA college bracket and do a press conference on it at the White House. I don't have enough time to do the college bracket. He's the president of the United States. He needs to focus on what's important.
When you were referring to talking about Libya, you had mentioned Obama's, how he reacted and how he dealt with the oil spill. I take issue with this whole Petrobras deal. Can you elaborate more on it? Do you think that's a slap in the face for the American worker and the oil industry here? Because I believe the moratorium still exists. The moratorium, does the moratorium still exist?
It does, sure.
And there he is in Brazil, pretty much handing them out $2 billion to help them drill, explore oil off their coast.
Well, it's ridiculous. You know, and we should be taking a page from Brazil on what they've done on their energy policy. Brazil, in response to the oil issues in the 70s, said we are not going to be dependent upon foreign oil to power our cars in our country. And they went to ethanol. And they used their natural resource of sugarcane. And now there's something like 85% independent and use ethanol to fuel their automobiles. They are now drilling and finding huge oil reserves off their shores. They're going to sell that oil at a profit and not have to use it domestically. And instead of drilling off of our shores and drilling in the inland areas like in Alaska, where it makes sense to do. And look, I'm for doing it safely. Don't want to do it in an unsafe way. I don't want to do it where you can see it off the beach. No one wants that in Florida. But let's do it in a safe and responsible way. Let's drill, let's build nuclear power plants, let's invest more in solar and biofuel and all of those things. Let's run our trucks on natural gas like T. Boone Pickens talks about. He estimates that if you use our big trucks, our delivery trucks, and put them on natural gas, we would import 40% less foreign oil. Realize we're sending $400 billion a year overseas to people who don't like us. In Venezuela, in the Middle East, we are funding both sides in the war on terror. After the debt, I think energy is the biggest issue facing this country. So I think, the president is completely wrong on this. And he's got to get an energy policy. We have no energy policy in this country. And we haven't had one, respectfully. We created a Department of Energy, and what's it ever done? Their goal was to get us off of foreign oil when it was created, 30-some years ago? And we're more dependent than ever.
But why do you think no one's even had said anything about it except for maybe the pundits, Rush, Hannity? No one in the Congress has said one word on it.
No, there's a lack of leadership. There's a lack of leadership. But you're bringing attention to it, thankfully.
Yeah, like I said, the pundits.
Yeah.
Sharky the pundit.
Sharky's bigger than a pundit.
Yeah, you're right.